I stump you a little bit?
No, I'm just reviewing whether I have any more questions, which I don't think I do.
Today is day 4 of the experiment. I'm sleep deprived. I had 3 hours of sleep, not on purpose, but I thought it would be fun to do this to see how my brain works when I'm super tired. So we'll see how this goes. I need a nap. I was thinking about splitting notes. So our PowerPoint today for lecture was 200 slides long. So I was looking to like split the duties with someone to outline it. And it beeped when I was thinking about this, and it beeped when I was saying, I'll do the first half of this lecture if you do the second. And I slightly saw my friend that I was thinking about sending this to. Nothing like prominent that I could like pick out, but I just knew that it was her.
So is the sentence, I'll do the first half of this lecture if you do the second, is that innerly spoken or are you speaking out loud to her?
That's innerly spoken.
Okay. And you see her, I'm understanding, but only sort of dimly or vaguely or something like that?
Yeah, it's almost not even, I was almost gonna not even tell you I saw it.
Let me make sure I understand. So I'm gathering that I see her. There's no question about it that I in my imagination see her, but the differentiation of it or the details of it is very, very unarticulated, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think it just beeped maybe when it just started to happen. So like I wasn't thinking about this for a long time. So it probably like snapped me out of it when the beep went off.
I also think that it's quite possible that you just don't, there are times when you have an image that is not articulated and it just stays not articulated. And when you're done with it, you're done with it because you know who you're talking about. There's no real reason that you need to see her. So as long as you see a bit of her, then that maybe is good enough. Then about the speaking, I'll do the first half. That's an entire sentence. You experience yourself as saying this whole deal.
I'm saying it, yeah, almost like I'm saying it to her. It wasn't like I was thinking about typing it. It was just like I was daydreaming about asking her.
And so your experiences of saying this to her, and you say it, I'm gathering quite differentiatedly. You've got all the words and inflection and all that stuff, and
yeah.
And you see her, but without differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
And do those two things seem like, maybe this might be an impossible question, but seem like part of the same experience? It's like I'm saying this to her.
Yes.
I just happen to see her less clearly than I am speaking to her.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I don't see her at all, if that's what you're asking. But like I know it is her. But there was like a slight visual, but like I had no idea what it was. But for some reason that visual, I knew that it was supposed to be representing her, and then I was talking to that.
So it is that I see her, but it's a very, very undifferentiated.
Yeah.
So this is a visual experience. It's just that I don't see really anything clearly.
Yeah, I would say that it's more verbal than it is visual. But they seem to be connected.
60-40-ish, 90-10-ish?
I would say 80-20.
Okay. And is that 80-20 prominence somehow different from just the clarity of it? The words are certainly clearer. So is this 80-20 measuring the clarity, or is it somehow measuring the prominence of it separate from the clarity?
Is it possible that it wasn't clear because it wasn't prominent?
Anything is possible.
That's what it seemed like to me, if I would describe it.
Okay.
So the lecture is 3 hours long, so halfway through we get like a 10-minute break. And everyone like shut off their camera. And the beeper went off when we were about to go on break, but someone asked a question and he was answering a question that kind of seemed important for the test. And I like expanded the window to see how many people like left and were not here for that. And I expanded the window and I was looking at the boxes and they turn gray if you shut it off. And I was just looking at that. I wasn't really thinking about anything verbal. I was just curious about who was there and who was not. Not specific people, just if people left and were missing it in general.
So that, to my ear, sounds like sort of two different kinds of things, which I would like us to sort through. So one was, I am wondering, which would be a cognitive experience. I experience myself as wondering in an inchoate kind of way, more or less like the seeing of beep number one was an inchoate kind of seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a thinky kind of a thing. I wonder about that. That's one thing. And another possibility is I did in the past a few seconds ago wonder, and now I'm just expanding the window and seeing what's there, and the wondering is an over with and done deal.
It was the first one because I was expanding the window and I was looking at all the boxes. So obviously I had intention, like I knew what I was doing.
And the knowing what I'm doing is in my direct experience in the same way as my seeing of the first beep was in my direct experience?
Yes.
Okay. So what we have here is a thought process that is pretty clearly a thought process.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen to be in words and pictures, which makes it hard to describe, but it is nonetheless a thought process. And as at the same time, presumably as a result of this thought process, but at the same time, I'm expanding the window to see what the answer is.
Yeah, I wasn't even listening to what my professor was saying. I was more focused on who was there rather than the content of what he was saying.
Well, this is an important question. I wonder how many people have left before they're going to hear the answer to it. Is that
That's the rationale behind it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I missed it myself. I was sitting there.
That's the irony of the whole deal.
Welcome to my life. So my professor was talking about something that was on the slide, and I was typing something while he was talking about it. And as soon as I switched back to the video of like the PowerPoint, he jumped to the next slide. So I saw quickly what he was talking about. There are three definitions for three different things. And I didn't know what they were because I didn't have time to read it. So I scanned in my book in the section that we were on, and I didn't even know what I was looking for, but I was scanning the section, like skimming it to see if like anything would pop up to like jog my memory of what he was talking about. And then the beeper went off when I was scanning the page.
And so is it the scanning? Is it your scanning that is caught in flight?
Yes.
By the beeper?
Yeah. I'm not like reading in any specific order. I'm just like, you know how like when you look at a menu, no one really reads it straight down. I was kind of doing that, like jumping around looking for a keyword that would pop up.
Mm-hmm. And is what you're looking for specified at all? Like, do you know? Not even, there's not like a word I'm looking for or a color or a header or something?
No, and I knew I would have remembered if I saw it. I still don't even remember what it was. I haven't gone back and looked at the PowerPoint. But when I was scanning, hoping that one of the words would jog my memory.
Mm-hmm. So I'm scanning, and presumably when I get to something that seems related to this, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
But I'm not scanning for anything in particular.
No, I didn't know what I was looking for. I was waiting for something to jog my memory.
Mm-hmm. And is scanning a visual phenomenon? Like it's really more about my eyes meeting the page and looking around, or is this like a thinky thing like in the last beep?
It was more like if you see like It's like I'm looking for like shapes in a group of other shapes. I wasn't like reading the words individually. The words didn't really mean anything to me individually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I knew that if I saw this word, it would have jogged my memory.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so. I'm understanding that to mean like this is really pretty much a visual thing. This is a looking kind of thing. And when I
Yeah.
see it, I'll stop.
Hmm.
But I don't have some cognition about what I'm looking for or the word or the concept or like, oh shit, why did he change the slide or nothing like that.
Hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
So we were learning about a disease that causes your skin to turn orange, like it looks like an orange peel. Um, and it made me think about my grandma, who I just visited the other day, who showed me like a lesion on her leg. And it looked like something called actinic keratosis. And when the beeper went off, I was daydreaming about sending a picture to my friend to see if she agreed. And during the beep, I was saying, "Do you think this is AK as an actinic keratosis?" With a visual of me in first person looking at the lesion on my grandma's leg. It was like a memory visual because it was the exact same, like it looked exactly the same as when I saw it with my own eyes live the other day.
Let's start with the seeing part. What exactly do you see?
I see me looking down. No, I don't see me looking down at my grandma's leg that I was looking at the other day in the exact distance, and it's like a memory.
So this is not really an image of me. This is an image of my grandmother's leg.
Yeah, it's a memory of what I was looking at the other day.
And am I subject matter in any way of this image? Obviously, it was me who was seeing it, but as far as I'm concerned, am I seeing my grandmother's leg again? Is it my experience aimed at her leg?
Yeah, I'm like looking at her leg like I looked at it the other day.
And I see it, as far as I can tell, exactly the same way as I saw it before.
Yeah.
Is that right? And
Mhm.
and I'm not asking whether this is really true. You know, nobody has any recollection. There's no standard that you can compare it to, probably. But as far as your experience is concerned, it seems like I'm seeing exactly the same thing as I saw before,
Yeah.
from the same angles, same.
Same angle, same color, same like I could tell that half of it was gray, the other half was like slightly blackish.
Does this visual experience seem like I'm looking at my grandmother's leg, and it's the same way as I looked at my grandmother's leg before, and I see it the same way as I saw it before, even though I know I'm not really there, and I know that this is in my imagination, and yet my experiences of having sort of being transported, I guess, I'm looking at it the same way, and I see it the same way, and I'm not claiming that it's more vivid, less vivid, equally vivid, or whatever, but it seems like it's the same kind of a scene.
I could not have described it any better than what you just did. Almost felt like I was there in the moment.
So
It
that would mean that this experience does include something of Ryan. This is not just I'm remembering what I saw. This is I'm remembering that I was there seeing it, including what I saw.
Yeah, it was more like I was reliving the moment than it was just a picture. So I don't know if that clarifies what I said previously. It changes things.
So this is not just I have a mental picture of my grandmother's leg.
Hmm.
This is I am as if transported back to that situation where I see my grandmother's leg clearly. And I don't see myself at all, but I, I'm obviously back there in the experiential mode of seeing the leg.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
That's why I said like it was like a memory. It was so vivid that like it was exactly what I was looking at when I was there.
Okay. And at the same time as that, I am thinking about saying, do you think this is AK or do you think it's AK or something like that?
It's almost like what I was seeing was going to be a message sent to someone, and the words attached to that message were gonna be, "Do you think this is AK?"
So you're asking this about your image as if you could transmit this image to your friend, is that right?
Yeah.
And And is your friend experientially present? This is one of those deals where obviously we know who we're talking about,
Yeah, no,
but I don't see her or
nothing.
feel her
No.
presence in some way or whatever, even though I know these words are aimed at her.
Yeah, I just knew they were aimed at her. I stump you a little bit.
No, I'm just reviewing whether I have any more questions, which I don't think I do. Anything else we should be talking about today?
I don't think so. I'm just exhausted. So like I feel like I could have definitely done a better job explaining things, but I got like 3 hours of sleep and I've been studying all day.
Well, you
I think
fooled
you
me.
did a great
'Cause
job.
All
I
right.
thought you did. I thought you did a good job. So
I
fooled
appreciate it.
me.
All
Thanks.
right,
Hi,
guys.
everybody. Good to see you again.
See you later.
Yeah, you too.